Hello everyone, welcome to Homeschool, and we are back with the chapter Carbon and its compounds. So in our previous video, we have discussed the two most important aspects. What were they? One was functional group and another one was about the homologous series. And now we will discuss one of the very important aspect of organic chemistry, that is nomenclature of organic compound. So what do you mean by nomenclature? The meaning of the word nomenclature is nothing but naming. Okay, as I already told you, there are crores and crores of organic compounds present in our nature. Okay, and to understand them better and to understand their chemical reactions and various properties, you must know their names, isn't it? So naming is very much important. Imagine we have crores of human beings existed on our earth, or our school you take. So our school itself will have so many children, or your class. So imagine a class of 100 students. So how do I recognize a person? Normally, as a teacher, if I want to know about a particular person, right? First and foremost, I should be knowing his or her name. 100 of you are there in a class, and to deal with you comfortably and conveniently, I should know your names. Imagine if you were not having a name, what would happen? If everybody on this planet was not having any name, then just try to imagine like how much confusion it may lead to. Yes or no? So if someone wanted to talk me or someone wanted to tell about me, they always tell taking my name. Oh, Nalini ma'am is like this, Nalini ma'am has done that. Yes, so this is how they recognize me and they talk about me and they study about me, is all with the help of my name, isn't it? And if we guys don't have any name, it will lead to a lot of confusion. Yes, so name is very much essential for a particular human. He is always recognized with the help of a name, isn't it? So similarly, as I told you, there are many organic compounds in our nature, and if you want to study them better, or if you want to understand about the properties, you must know their names. Okay, and if you know the name of an organic compound, half of the properties you will come to know. Okay, you can able to decide how it can react and what it does during a chemical reaction. Right? So name has lot of importance in case of organic chemistry. And as I told you, there are crores and crores of organic compounds. How will you name them? You can't name them with the help of the scientists that they have discovered. Imagine today a particular scientist have discovered the compound A, B, C, D, some organic compound A, B, C, D. Okay, and what names he would keep? If we keep A compound's name as his own, if B compound is given with his wife's name, or C compound is given with his daughter's name, or D compound is given with his son's name. Imagine how difficult it is for us to remember the names of the discovered compounds, isn't it? You can't keep the names of a scientist that they have discovered the compounds. Elements, because elements are very few in number, 100, 118 elements are there, and if they are kept with the names of a scientist or starting letter of a scientist, it's okay, we can remember, it's much easier. But this is crores and crores of compounds, no? And with what names you call? Like if every compound is given with a particular scientist name or something, it becomes a mess. Yes, how many different names you will remember? It's very difficult. So that is the reason. To avoid this kind of confusion, we have a committee for our chemistry. The committee is called IUPAC. IUPAC. So what do you mean by IUPAC? International Union of pure and applied chemistry. Pure and applied chemistry. Okay, so this is a committee that is present in London. Okay, and this committee includes lot of chemistry scientists across the world, and whichever problem comes in the field of chemistry, or whichever the new thing that has been discovered in the field of chemistry, you know, you have to prove it in that committee. Committee members should accept it, and the committee comprises many scientists all over the world. You know, say whatever the problem that comes in the field of chemistry, you know, those people will give solutions to the problem that came. Got to know? So that committee, what is the committee's name? International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry. This is one committee or organization. Okay, and scientists of this committee, you know, invented a particular rules. They framed a particular rules to name the organic compound. Okay, so they gave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. There are so many rules which are mentioned, and they clearly told about which compound has to be named how, what were the rules that you have to follow. All those were clearly explained and mentioned. So if anybody discovers a new organic compound, the compound have to be named according to the rules only. Okay, if one comes to know those rules, anybody can name any organic compound. Yes or no? Then in that case, say for example, you know, we have a compound called CH4, and its name I gave you methane. Its name I gave you methane. Okay, so everybody in the world will call this compound as methane only, because this was named, this name was given according to the rules of IUPAC. Okay, so wherever you go in the world, you know, the moment we say CH4, it is called with the name methane only. Clear everybody? Like that, each and every compound, whichever is discovered, you know, whichever is present naturally or artificially, it has to be named according to the IUPAC rules only. So those who are studying organic chemistry must learn these IUPAC rules, so that every compound you can name yourself. And once you know the name only will tell you half of the properties about the chemical compounds. Okay, clear everybody? So everybody in the world will follow these IUPAC rules only. Okay, these rules will help us to name the compound. So every organic chemistry student must learn this IUPAC rules to understand the names of the compounds. Clear everybody? And you know, we are learning such rules now. We are not learning all the rules in detail. That is not there for our level. You will be learning in detail about the names in 11th and 12th classes, and also in much higher classes. Okay, and for our class we are just learning the basic rules, fundamental rules that are there in nomenclature. Okay, so very basic compounds we can able to name using such rules. Very basic rules we are learning. Clear everybody? Fine. And now let us quickly go to the rules. Okay, and before we go to the rule, again one small example for you. You have a name. How do you name a particular person? Like, you know, the name includes initial, yes or no? It will have an initial, which I can call it as a first name, FIRST, first name. Okay, and the name will have a middle name, okay, and last name. See, if you have seen the application forms of various jobs, or 10th standard application form when you are applying, okay, usually the name column includes like first name, middle name and the last name. Yes or no? The name itself is divided into first name, middle name and last name. Okay, sometimes you know, the initial or surname, whatever we call surname Surname. Some people will write as a first name and some people will write as a last name. Anyway, okay. Say for example, I have a name here. Ye Arun Kumar. Ye Arun Kumar is the name. Okay. Can you tell me which is the first name, middle name, and the last name? Ye. A is about a surname. Okay. Here I don't have a full form of surname. Okay. Just initial I mentioned. What is that? A. This is his surname. Okay. And this A is nothing but the first name here. Right. Arun is a middle name. And Kumar is a last name. Okay, so each and everybody's name is again divided into first name, middle name, and the last name. Okay, similarly, our organic compounds name is also divided into first name, middle name, and the last name. Okay, clear everybody? But here, the first point, I'm talking about the first point. Okay, so first point or first rule you can consider. Actually, as rules we are not discussing here, point by point we will discuss. Okay, so first point is, the first name is called as prefix. Chemical language. Say in a normal language, say this part of a name is called as first name, no? But in a chemistry language, we call the first name as prefix. Okay, and middle name is called as word root. Remember this, word root. Okay, middle name is called with the name word root, and last name is called as suffix. Okay, say we normally in English language we use this part of a name is first name, this is middle name, this is last name. Similarly, for our chemical compounds, the first name we call it as, instead of first name we call it as prefix. Instead of middle name we call it as word root. Instead of last name we call it as suffix. Okay, and now always prefix has to be written first. Prefix, first name should be written first. Yes or no? I should start from A. This is first name. From first name onwards, I should start writing a name. Isn't it? So prefix has to be written first. Later, word root should be written. And later, suffix should be written. Okay. Always you should mention prefix first, later word root, and lastly you should mention suffix. This is the pattern of writing a name for organic compound. Okay, and now I will tell you what groups can be written as a prefix, what can be written as a word root, and what groups should be mentioned as a suffix. I told you organic compound will have many groups. Just now you have seen the functional group. Yes or no? So, what should be mentioned as a prefix, what should be mentioned as a word root, and what should be mentioned as a suffix. This is what we are going to learn. Coming to the second point that you have to remember. Okay. So in the first point we have learnt the name always have to be written in this pattern. Yes or no? First you have to mention the first name, that is prefix. Next will be word root and suffix. Isn't it? Now we will learn what groups, if they are there, we should mention them as prefix, what has to be mentioned them as word root, and what has to be mentioned as suffix. Okay, so listen to the point here. The groups or atoms that should be mentioned as prefix writing groups. Okay, so group name that is written as prefix. Okay, let us see. Name that is written as prefix. Okay, so if you have a group like Cl, okay, if Cl is there in organic compound, then you have to mention the name of a Cl, no? In a name, yes or no? So in a name, if Cl's name is there, then you can easily find out that there is Cl in an organic compound, isn't it? So Cl can be written as chloro. Cl can be written as chloro. Okay, so whenever Cl is there, it should be written as a prefix. And how do you mention Cl? Cl has to be written as chloro. Okay, F has to be written as fluoro. Okay, then you will have a groups like CH3. Okay, say for example you have a compound CH3, CH2, CH2, CH3, and somewhere some CH3 is there as a branch. Structural isomers we studied, where one of the compound I mentioned as branch, isn't it? So when CH3 is there as a branch, you know, its name you should mention as a prefix actually. When something is there as a branch, either it may be an organic group or groups like these guys, you know, their names you have to mention as a prefix. So CH3 we will write it as methyl. CH3 we will write it as methyl. Okay, so whenever Br is there, Br is again a element of 17th group. Whenever this guy is there in an organic compound, say for example here Br is there. Okay, so this is the organic compound you have. Now Br will have its name, no? That name of a Br you should write it as a first name, that is prefix. Okay, so Br should be written as bromo. Okay, so this is how for your level, I think these many groups you can find it in the organic compound. Whenever you find these groups are atoms in an organic compound, you know, their names I have given you here, and they has to be mentioned, you know, as a prefix. Clear everybody? So this is the second point that you have to remember. And now we will go for learning the third point. Okay, the number of carbon atoms should be mentioned as a word root. Word root in the sense middle name, isn't it? So first name, what we have written, first name is nothing but prefix, isn't it? The groups which I had mentioned, their names should be written as a first name. And now say if you have an organic compound like CH3, CH, Cl, CH2, CH2, CH3, isn't it? Say here the group Cl is there, its name first we will indicate as first name, and later what we have to do is we should count the number of atoms present in this chain, okay, in this straight chain. And if you have one carbon, you know, the word root, the middle name should be written as meth. If you have 2 carbon atoms, middle name should be written as eth. If you have 3 carbon atoms, prop. If you have 4 carbon atoms, but. 5 carbon atoms, pent. 6 carbon atoms, hex. 7 hept. 8 oct, and 9 non. Okay, and now see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Isn't it? So for this compound, middle name is pent because 5 carbon atoms you have in a chain. Okay, so the middle name will be pent. Got to know? First name will be the name of this guy, chloro, and middle name is what? Pent. Okay, now we will talk about the last name, that is suffix. Okay, so the third point we will talk is about writing suffix. Writing suffix. Suffix in the sense what, guys? The last name, isn't it? And always functional group should be mentioned as suffix. What group? Functional group. Okay, special functional groups. Functional groups should be mentioned. Should be mentioned as suffix. should be mentioned as suffix. Okay, fine. So what are the functional groups we studied? Chloro, bromo we studied as functional group, but chloro, bromo and all you should mention as a prefix only. Okay, except Cl, Br, whatever functional groups we studied, no, alcoholic group, ketonic group, carboxylic acid group, if those groups are there in a compound, then they are always mentioned at the last, that is as a last name, suffix. Okay, say take a table. These things you have to note down, guys. Each and every point that I wrote it, no, point 1, point 2, point 3, and this is our point 4, isn't it? So all this you have to pause the video, take it down in a book, and then continue. Okay, after each and every point, pause the video, write it down, try to understand, then go further. Okay, that is the way of learning nomenclature. It's very important to understand all the points very, very clearly. Okay, fine. So the group and name, that is suffix, what we have to write it as a suffix, no, that one I will mention here. So the first important functional group is OH. Okay, alcoholic group. Alcoholic group should be written as OL. What it should be written, guys? OL. Okay, so whenever OH group is there, its name we will mention at the end. Its name is not alcoholic group. We don't mention as alcoholic group in the name. Okay, that alcoholic group only we will write as OL. Okay, remember, OL. Fine. And group like aldehyde group is mentioned as AL. AL. Don't get confused between OL and AL. Okay, OL is nothing but alcoholic group. AL is nothing but CHO group. Okay, and group COOH is written as oic acid. Okay, whenever COOH is there, the name suffix, that is the last name, should be indicated as oic acid. And now keto group. If you have a keto group, it should be mentioned as ONE. ONE. Okay, so this is the basic information that you should have. If OH group is there in organic compound, its name you should mention at the end. And how do you mention its name? You will write it as OL. CHO is written as AL. COOH is written as oic acid. CO is written as ONE. Okay, so this is the basic things that you should understand about the name. Each and every organic compound's name includes 3 parts, guys. First one is prefix, that is first name. What groups you will write it as prefix? Cl group if it is there, Br group if it is there, CH3 group if it is there as branch. You know, their names you will write first. After that, you will count the number of carbon atoms in a main chain. That number you will indicate in the form of these names. And you call that as word root, middle. You will mention that in the middle of the name. Okay, and the last name, the name should always end with the name of a functional group. Okay, if OH is there, it is written with the name OL at the end. If CHO is there, AL. COOH is there, oic acid. CO is there, ONE. Okay, so this is how you must know what should be written as first name, what should be written as middle name, and what should be written as the last name. Okay, so this is a very basic information that you should remember. Now we will study some more rules with the help of example. Okay, now we will try to give a name for different organic compounds. Formula will be given. Okay, elaborate shortcut structure will be given. You have to write its name, keeping all the rules in a mind. Okay, rules did not end it. Still you have some more rules. I will explain with the help of an example. Clear? See, now I will write a compound. We will try to name it. Okay. Say the compound is CH3, CH2, CH2, Br. Okay. So this is the organic compound you have in front of you and we have to name it. Clear everybody? Fine. And before naming an organic compound, okay, first you need to number the carbon atoms present in a chain. Okay, start numbering only carbon atoms. Clear everybody? So what is the first point that should come to your mind? The first point, that is, I will write according to the step. Step number 1. What is step number 1? Count the number of carbon atoms present in a chain. Okay, and start giving numbers. Start giving numbers. Okay, and numbering should be done. Numbering should be done in such a way that functional group containing carbon should get a least number. Functional group containing carbon should get a least number. Okay, fine. See how many carbons I have now? 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I should give numbers. Say one number for which carbon do you give? Number 2 for which carbon do you give? Number 3 for which carbon do you give? That is the big question. Yes or no? So how do you give number? Do you give number like 1, carbon 2 and carbon 3? Or do you give number like first carbon, second carbon and third carbon? So which is correct way? Either this is correct or this is correct. You know, this is correct. What I said here, numbering should be done in such a way that functional group containing carbon should get a least number. Least number in the sense 1. Okay, which is a functional group, guys? Br is a functional group. To which carbon is it is attached? To this carbon. Yes, Br, this bond is between this carbon and this Br. Okay, this bond is not between these hydrogens and this Br. I already explained in my previous videos about this. Okay, so Br has directly attached to this carbon, no? So this carbon should get number 1. Okay, so this carbon should get number 1. This carbon should get number 2. Then this carbon should get number 3. Okay, so this is how you should give numbers to the carbon atoms. That is very much important point to be remembered. Okay, so the moment you see the organic compound, first thing it should flash in your mind is to give numbers. And how do you give the numbers? You have to check if a functional group is there or not. If a functional group is there, special group is there, then the group to which carbon it has been attached to, no, that carbon should get number 1 always. After that, the next carbon. After that, the other next carbon. Okay, so this is how properly you should give numbers. Okay, and after giving numbers, step number 2. Step number 2 is write the prefix. Write the prefix. Okay, so what is prefix here? First name you are writing. Okay, what should be written as a first name? If groups like Br, Cl, F, CH3 is there, their names should be written as a prefix. Okay, so here do you have groups like prefix rating groups? Do you have? Definitely, BR is there. Its name you should indicate first. What is its name? Bromo. Okay, and indicate the prefix along with the carbon's number. Okay, this Br is attached to carbon. Which carbon? First carbon, no? So you should start writing the name with number. Okay, so which bromo? 1 bromo. 1 bromo. Okay, so this is your prefix. This is your prefix. Got to know how to write and got to know why did we number? We are telling to people there is bromine atom. So bromo we have written. But you have to tell that bromine is present at which carbon. This is also important to tell. Isn't it? You have 3 carbons here. To which carbon that bromine is there? It is like you are telling it is present at first carbon. Okay. So your prefix is what guys here? 1 bromo. Okay. And now step number 3. Mention word roots. Mention word root. Word root in the sense what guys? Middle name. Okay. Word root means middle name. First name is over. Prefix is over now. Okay. After that, give a little gap. Just give a little gap and try to mention the word root. And what should be written as word root? I already told you. You have to count the number of carbon atoms. Yes, numbering is helpful in this step also for us. Yes or no? So how many carbons guys? 3 carbon. If there are 3 carbon, then what is the word root we will write? Prop. Yes or no? So this is your word root. This is your word root. Okay, clear everybody? So you have to count the number of carbon atoms, and if the carbon atoms are 3, here it is 3, so I have used the middle name or word root prop. If you have 5 carbon atoms, pent. If you have 6 carbon atoms, hex. If you have 8 carbon atoms, oct. Like that. Okay, so step number 3 is over. Lastly, step number 4. Mention suffix. Mention suffix if present. Mention suffix if present. I told you what groups should be written as suffix. Groups like OH, CHO, COOH, if they are there in organic compound, their names should be written at the end. Okay, but remember guys, before you write suffix, you should join something to the word root. What is that? See, between carbon atoms, if you have all single bonds, then ANE should be joined to the word root. Okay, between carbon atoms, see, this is also important. If all single bonds are there, okay, let me write here. Okay, here I will mention. If all single bonds between carbon atoms, you know what you have to join guys? ANE should be joined. ANE, okay, should be joined to the word root. Okay, and if you have a double bonds, then ENE should be joined to a word root. What is the word root here? Just prop. Okay, but between the carbon atoms you are checking. If all single bonds, ANE. If you have any double bond, any one double bond if present also, ENE. If you have triple bond, then YNE you have to join to the word root. Okay, now here in the compound, we have all single bonds only between carbon atoms. Okay, so what I have joined? ANE I joined to the word root. Okay, so this completes my word root. And after that, I should think of writing suffix. To write a suffix, do you have any special functional groups? We have BR, that we have written as prefix. We don't have groups like OH, CHO and all. Yes or no? when you don't have any special groups, you no need to mention suffix. Only if such groups are there, then you have to mention the suffix. Otherwise, it is not necessary. Clear, everyone? So what is the name of this compound, guys? Name of this compound is 1-bromopropane. 1-bromopropane. You see, the name itself will tell you half of the property, isn't it? And it is talking about what group is there. It is talking about how many carbons are there. And it is also talking about whether you have single bond, double bond or triple bond between carbon atoms. See, so much information is given by name itself. So definitely you should learn all the rules to write the name. Okay, and some more examples we will see it in the next video. Till then, revise all the rules. Try to remember what groups should be written as prefix, what should be written as word root, and what should be written as suffix. Okay, and just try to analyze this example. More examples we will see it in the next video. So if you like our video, please like it, share it, and subscribe our channel for more updates. Thank you.